Hello, World Tank Blizzards. It's a Littlefinger. Hey, update 8.1 came out last week, and just now getting around to doing a video to highlight some of those changes. I like to do that to keep it for my own record because the one thing Wargaming does do a really good job of is continually update and balance the game. Um, and sometimes they just briefly touch on a topic and don't go into too much detail about it. So to me, the biggest update is the armor highlighting in this. Over 200 tanks have been adjusted. As you can see here, when you're aiming in on a tank with spaced armor, it used to show that you could pen. Well, that was only showing the outside layer of armor, and you couldn't actually pen the tank and do damage. So it was a bit misleading. Kind of like with the IS-7 frontally, it would show you could pen that, but you never could, and it was kind of frustrating. So that to me is the biggest upgrade. They added more the high graphics tanks, the British light line this time, and they're going to continue to do so over time. Several tanks got armor buffs. We'll go into that in 1 second. One of the other things that they touched on, if we go into storage, was being able to sell your camouflage for splinters. Well, except for this WoW camo here, which you can exchange for credits, I really haven't seen anywhere where you can do that just yet. But their comment was after update 8.1, so perhaps we'll see that in the near future. But we did want to point out, if you've done a bunch of battle passes and you don't care for the backgrounds anymore, you can exchange those for splinters. And obviously you can use splinters to buy camos typically in the store. So do keep that in mind. And now we'll jump in, and I want to talk about the new event that is coming out. It's a Cryptos code. You can get the VK1601P by earning rotors. Now, what they've said, the difference here is going to be you must have premium time to complete this mission. You get one rotor for a victory without premium time, but 3 rotors if you have premium time. You need 590 rotors to complete this upper section, which over this 2-week event means just over 14 wins per day. You can get rotors here by purchasing the code breaker kit. You can also get ciphers, and it's kind of interesting how they're doing this. You don't understand what the mission is on the cipher. You have to find that through their social media. So we'll try to put that on Discord as we find those out. But that then allows you to unlock the bottom 4 items here, which is going to be gold boosters, pretty neat little camo here, an avatar, and premium time. So it should be a fun little event. So 14 wins with premium time. And now we'll slide on over to Blitz Hanger and go through all of these changes. And like I said, that's one of the good things about Blitz is, they're constantly looking at the statistics and balancing tanks and trying to limit the number of OP tanks minus Annihilator Smasher. But here, Blitz Hanger is the best place to look at these changes, update 8.1. Everybody's talking about the 60 TP tier 10 heavy tank. The reason why is look at these damage numbers. 560 on a tank which you expect to have some decent mobility, much more than say an E100 or something. Number 3 when it comes to damage. So that should be interesting when that hits, I'm sure, crates only, right? We've got a new Lorraine Fearless and a Type 58. Not going to go into too much details about these. The U-Panzer, I'm assuming, will be next month's Battle Pass tank. Looks like this thing could live underwater type of thing. Object 244, we're just seeing some almost like reskins of previous tanks. Badger got a little bit of a speed boost here. Ho-Re got a little bit of a nerf. And I won't go through all of these, but there are some that I do want to point out. You see some increases to pen numbers, Hori here, some decreases to medium, Pantera, pen dropping, T20, much needed hit point increase, and rate of fire increase. This tank was severely lacking as far as pen damage per minute on the battlefield. So that's kind of interesting to see. So basically, in general, what you're seeing is some buffing up of the mediums because the heavies just got power crept, overcooked a little bit too much with the upgrade in hit points that they gave to them. And as they mentioned in the upcoming 8.2, we'll have a new map, and some of the heavies are going to lose some hit points. So that'll be interesting. The big one here is the LTTB. Losing quite a bit of engine horsepower, but I haven't played it yet. But if you look at the power to weight ratio, I mean, 50 to 46, are you really going to notice that? I mean, when some of the tanks have 15 to 25 power to weight ratio, the tank was overpowered to begin with, right? So here we're seeing some hit points added to these medium tanks. So yeah, as you can see, this is quite a long list. Comet received some terrain and a speed boost. Black Prince, speed forward, got 25 kilometers per hour now. A little bit worse on the dispersion, which is much needed for that tank to balance it out. So again, you see just these changes are being done to balance out tanks. Predator gets a little bit of a pen boost here, but you're going to see a lot of tanks here in the Armor Spectre, and I think that is because of the new highlighting. So you really can't see hardly any change here on some of these tanks. But there are a couple that I want to point out, and so like like the IS-7. How you could be aiming at this lower plate here, the upper glacis plate, and it would show that you could pen it, but it would just ricochet, and that was kind of frustrating. But all right, so the first one here is AMX-50B tier 10. You can see obviously a huge change in the armor profile of the upper part of the turret, and keep in mind that on this part of the turret, you can raise that up and this whole thing angles even more. So this is a tank that I should certainly try out and see how much of a difference that has made. But obviously, biggest weakness, you can't hide this part of the tank really when you're shooting, so makes it a difficult tank to play. So not sure if, yeah, we can see a little bit around the gun mantlet, but the other VK, the tier 7, is the one that I wanted to point out as we just scroll through all of these real quick. So you can see there's just so many of these changes. That and the Annihilator, I'm sorry, the Tankenstein is the one that I wanted to point out as well. If we can find them, you can see there's the VK 3002D. Got a nice little increase in the armor. Might have passed it already. Oh, here it is. Taking this tank from being absolutely useless in an 8.0 to giving it a fighting chance on the battlefield with that armor. So we can't really see much of a difference there with the Tiger, but with the Tankenstein we will. You see that yellow on the upper plate there, going from yellow to orange. So, so again, a lot of changes, but I think it's all for the benefit of the game, and I really do appreciate Wargaming continue to look and improve. But 8.2 should be a better update with a new map. So with that, guys, have fun out there. Stay safe, get educated, not fingered. Littlefinger out.